Okay. Camera's going. Right here's a suitable spot for the hospital. I need a design for it. Swipe back up. Classic TSMC hospital.
In this video, I'll be showing you
Bingo.
how to make a hospital. Oh, and by the way, if you like this building,
Smooth
feel free to check out the card system and the links below down in the description for my other various building tutorial playlists. If you like this one, odds are you'll like a lot of my other stuff.
Blocks.
Moving on, if you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need also grab
blocks of iron.
a white stained glass pane, grab a black wool, and finally grab yourself some dark grey wool. And once you have each one of these materials right here,
Red concrete.
we want to make it.
I got zoom all the way back here. Right here's the starting spot.
I'll be making it right here. You're going to want to kick off your hospital with a row of 6 quartz coming directly up from the floor. That's 6 quartz.
Smooth
So
quartz
1,
block.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. What you then want to do is you want to take this 6 quartz block and you want to go right of it by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then connect that 8 block all the way down to the ground, like that, to form an archway shape. Once you form that shape, you then want to take these top 2 corners of the archway and you want to extend them, coming towards you, each by 8. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this last one as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then just connect each one of those 8 blocks together, guys, and also connect each one of those 8 blocks down.
That looks classic.
The ground, like this. Perfect, guys. And that
TSMC really made this tutorial stand out.
Just to give you guys an idea, and it might be a little bit difficult to visualize it now, but the entrance to the hospital is actually going to be on the left here, and it's also going to be straight ahead here. So, just to give you an idea what the entrance will actually look like, let me just build a little bit of the entrance. I'll just build one of them. This is the entrance that, in my plans, is actually designed to go like straight to an elevator, and it actually takes you to each one of the individual floors. It's not a real elevator, by the way, guys. It's much more of a...
Focus.
Got to fill that top in with quartz. Is much more of an elevator masquerading as a staircase. Or a staircase masquerading as an elevator, I should say. But one of the entrances to the hospital is directly there, and then there is an identical one on the left here. So if you guys can visualize it, this is the front of the hospital, there's the entrance, left one's there. The reason that I'm making such a big deal out of this is because a lot of you guys like to know the positioning of these things so you can figure out where to build them. So once you've got all of that taken...
Oh no, I gotta tamper with groundwork before I continue on with the rest of the build. Laying down the asphalt. There we go. That's a lot.
This is what you want to do next. Come to the front left-hand corner of your hospital, this block right here. From this block, you want to go left of it by 20 with your block of quartz. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. like that. You then want to take a sideways view to that row of 20, and you want to go left of this 20th block, guys, by 22. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
Wrap it
16, 17,
around
18, 19,
the
20, 21,
hospital.
22. Like so. You then want to take a sideways view to that 22nd block, and you want to go left of it by 28. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
29 by 23 block spacing for the footprint of the hospital.
My lungs. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Like that. And what you then want to do is just connect this 28th block all the way back to the start of your hospital. And hopefully, if everything works out, you should end up with what is essentially a rectangle drawn on the floor like this. Perfect, guys.
Just realize.
You're after.
23
Once you
and
have this
29
shape on the
footprint.
floor, it's now time for us to start moulding the walls of the hospital a little bit.
Mix of iron and smooth quartz. Blue stained glass blocks. think it's going to be like this on this side. We go. Up and down. This is going to be an easy process since we have structure blocks. One more area. How to measure. Fix. Perfect fit. How about this side? Perfect fit. Two of the walls are pretty easy because you get to look at a reference photo.
Because that's where most of the effort goes into. So what you now want to do, guys, is you want to come to the front of your hospital. Come to the front left-hand corner. On top of this front left-hand corner block,
Northwest
go up
corner.
by 30. So that's going to be 30. 3, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4,
31
5,
blocks
6,
tall,
7,
make it the
8,
tallest in
9,
this
10,
city
11,
so
12,
far.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Perfect.
Police station.
Once you have your row of 30 there, you then want to come to this part here. Can you guys remember this block? This one that we extended out right at the very beginning? Well, we now want to go up on top of this block here by 25. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. What you then want to do is take this 25th block and extend it, going all the way over to the left, to the left-hand side of what we just made. And if everything has went correctly, you should end up with a big, giant rectangular shape like this. So the reason that we've done this first is because this is the benchmark for the rest of the hospital. This is how high the entire hospital will be. Plus, it's easier to fill it in this way. So once you have your rectangular shape, what you then want to do is you want to add an additional layer of quartz inside that rectangle on the left and right hand side. You want to do 2 vertical rows of quartz on the left and right hand side of what you...
What about the windows? Where are we gonna go? Floors. The big ones are 5x5 windows. So we have your size hospital.
just made. So you just want to end up with something that should look like this. You then want to take out your blue stained glass pane and move it closer to your block of quartz. It will be easier this way. Once you've done that, come down to the bottom left-hand corner of your rectangular shape and going right of this quartz block right here, do this sequence of blocks. Do 5 blue stained glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 block of quartz, then 5 blue stained glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 block of quartz, then 5 pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want to end up with a pattern that should look like this. Now, once you've done that row once, you now want to do that 4 additional times on top of that first row. So that's going to be 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now all we have to do is add in the glass. So this is where the time is going to be used, guys. It's going to be stacking up glass and it's going to be filling in walls. It's a pretty simple design. It's all very easy, except the only problem, of course, is that we've got to fill all of these walls, and there's a lot of glass involved. There's a few different materials, and it's not always straightforward to place this glass. It usually takes a while. So once you have added your 4 layers of the very same row on top of that first initial row, you then want to do a layer of a block of quartz on top of everything that you've made. Like this. Now, once you've done that once, believe it or not, we're going to do this very same thing 4 more times, guys, going up. We're just going to repeat this pattern over and over again. So, for the next row, going from left to right, we're doing 5 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 block of quartz, 5 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 block of quartz, 5
Copy
glass
and
pane,
paste it.
like that. We're then going to be doing 4 more layers on top of that, so that's 1, 2, 3,
The structure block.
4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll be doing a layer of quartz on top of this as well. So we're just going to be repeating this very same pattern over and over and over again until we eventually reach the top, which is why we kind of made the top. Not only does it show us how tall this hospital is going to be, which is important to some of you guys, but it also lets you know once you've actually finished the recurring pattern, you know when enough is enough. So we've now added the 4 additional layers. We then want to add a layer of block of quartz directly on top, like that. And then we want
First
to
of
repeat the
Windows
pattern
has
over
been
and over again, guys.
installed.
So going from left to right, it's
This
5 glass pane,
side.
1 block of quartz, 5 glass pane, 1 block of quartz, 5 glass pane, and then that's 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then
This is a very nostalgic tutorial I'm listening to by YouTuber TSMC Minecraft. You should check out their channel. Just search up TSMC Minecraft and you'll find this channel.
The 3rd time that we've done this. Yeah, I think it'll actually be the 3rd time. So what we're now going to do is just talk about random stuff as we casually fill in this pattern, because it is quite time consuming and there's only so much of place this right hand corner stained glass, the regular 2 quartz to like that, completely soft. Then what to do, guys, is you want to come down by a further 5. So that's going to be, we were on this block here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what we then want to do is on the 6th block here, so you're on the 5th block, you then go down to the 6th, place a red wall, then a red wall to the right of that red wall, then go down from each one of these red walls by 5 again, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the other one as well. Then extend the 2 middle blocks coming out of the left and right, each by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, whoops, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now, that might have been a very poor explanation of that, because I was kind of trying to
On
count
both
blocks as I was looking
sides,
at it, but
so
you should
people can
hopefully be
see
able
it.
to see from this, since you can actually see
The
the 4
hospital.
spots of separation between them, you should be able to see where this goes. And once you have placed your big red plus, you should end up with some
Long time since we've seen the city, and a lot has changed.
Now you know it's a hospital. Once you've reached this point right here, this is what you're going to do next, guys. So I guess that we'll follow this hospital around clockwise. I guess that's exactly what we're going to do, guys. So come all the way over to the left-hand side of your hospital once you've completed the front. What you then want to do is you want to come to this back right-hand corner of the hospital, which is this one right here, and go up on top of this block by 30. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
Stupid
20,
chicken.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27,
Now
28.
the layout where the floors
What you then
go.
want to do is connect that 30th block all the way to the front of the hospital. Like
4th floor,
this. Bam, and you should connect
and the
the
5th
front
floor.
corner. What
Then
you
the
then want
roof.
to do, in the exact same manner that we did on the front of the hospital, you now want to add a vertical row of quartz on the left and right hand side, on the inside coming up. So you just kind of want to bolster the left and right hand side of what you just made by 1 row, like this. What we now want to do is a repeatable pattern. So you're going to want to do yourself a favor and move the stained glass, the regular stuff, and the quartz and the block of iron all next to each other in a row of 3 like that. Once you've arranged your materials, you then want to come down to the bottom left-hand corner of your hospital and going right of this quartz block that we have right here, you want to do this sequence of blocks. Do 2 blue stained glass, 1 block of iron, 2 glass, 2
There's the
quartz,
stairwell.
2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, to glass.
Here's
And
the
you should
elevator
end up
shaft.
with a pattern that should look exactly like this. Become familiar with this pattern, guys. It's going to become your friend or your enemy. What you then want to do, once you've done this row once, you now want to do the exact same row directly on top of the row that you've just made. So you just want to add an additional layer directly on top of this row, guys. So you want to end up with something that should look like this. You then want to do a layer of block of quartz directly on top of that row. So just stack a layer of quartz directly on top of that row, like that. What you then want to do, guys, for the next row is, you might have guessed it, we're going to be following the exact same pattern that we did just before we did the quartz. So we're now going to do
Someone's hearing a
2
classic
glass,
tutorial
1 iron,
on a
2
popular
glass,
YouTuber.
2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, and then we want to stack an additional layer on top of that row. And then after that row, guys, we're then going to add a layer of quartz, and then we're going to start the pattern again, guys. And it is going to go like this, as you guys might be able to see. It kind of looks like Christmas presents or just regular presents. And it's going to go like this, over and over and over again, guys, until we eventually reach the top of the hospital. You'll know once you've finished. So we're now just going to repeat the same pattern over and over again, guys. And I don't really feel the need to repeat that pattern to you over and over again, because you can actually quite literally see what you've got to do directly below you. You can literally just look directly down and you can see the exact same pattern that you've got to follow over and over and over again. So it's
These
just
red
2
marks
rows
right here
of the
are
glass,
going to be
iron, quartz combo,
for the
and then it's a layer
stairs.
of
I'll
quartz.
actually put gray
And that
marks
is
here
the
for the
same thing
stairs.
over and over again. And I think that we should probably stop talking about that. So
At the start of the stairs, you should
this
put
side's
the red for
actually
the
very simple.
elevators, the gray for
The
the
back
staircase.
is actually the back is actually identical to the front, so that's not going to be difficult.
214
And
negative
the side
61
is
27.
actually the other side, the opposite side, is actually very similar to this, except we've kind of got a little problem in which the entrance is in the way. So once we've actually completed this side, this is where I'm going. Once we've actually completed this side, everything else is going to be really, really easy, because it's just going to be amalgamations of what we've already done before. So it's going to be really, really simple. And I know that this is somewhat repetitive and slightly boring, guys. Trust me. I know. I had to build this hospital a couple of times. I didn't get it right on the first time. I got like the scaling of the windows wrong, so that the floors didn't work out properly on the inside. That's the thing. I've kind of done the inside of the hospital, but kind of not. I've kind of separated the hospital, and it kind of has the layout of what I think is kind of like a regular hospital, except I've not really furnished it, and I don't really feel like furnishing it, because I spent like a couple of hours building this thing yesterday, and well, I guess I'll show you guys at the end of this, but it's actually kind of cool. Like, this thing is actually laid out like a proper hospital. It looks really, really cool on the inside. I mean, it even has an elevator, except it's not an elevator. It kind of looks like one, but then you walk into it and it turns into a staircase, and I don't know, it's got a helicopter.
Well, I fixed that problem by building an elevator right here for the doctors, nurses, and patients and visitors, and built a staircase in case there's a fire in the building.
I think that we're only on like the 3rd layer, like we're even halfway. Yeah, well, actually we're reaching the top, so we've just got to keep repeating this. Then we'll move on to the back. We're kind of going clockwise around the building, and then we can move on to the final side. And then what do we have left to do after that? We've got to mess about with the roof a little bit, but not much. And we've also got to do the entrance just a little bit as well. And then, I suppose that'll be that, guys, once the sides are done. There's really not too much to this thing. Really isn't. And then I get to show you the original version of this, which is going to be fun, because I actually spent a lot of time doing it. Whilst this thing is simple, it is big, and as a result of it being big, whenever you want to do something to something that's big, it just takes a long time. Like, no matter how detailed it is, no matter how simple it is, everything takes a really long time if you're doing it to really detailed things. So, or really big things, I should say, not really So we've just about reached the top here, which is really good for us. We can then move on to the back, as I keep saying, and we just have to do one more layer of the pattern, and then we are good, guys. So let's take a look at this thing, and let's see how we've done. So this is what the side of your hospital wants to look like, guys, and this is perfect. It comes cool, doesn't it? It's simple, but it's cool. I mean, if you don't want
Going
to,
to
don't
the
even
wall
have
for the
to
stairwell.
involve iron, although I quite like it. Once you've completed this side, guys, once you've fully completed this side, and obviously pause this if necessary, if you're still working on any of that, of course, we can now move on to the next bit, which is going to be the back of the hospital. So once you've got those two sides taken care of, come all the way around to the back of your hospital. And what you want to do, starting from the bottom right-hand side here, you want to, on top of this second quartz block on the back, you want to do a layer of quartz coming all the way up the side of the hospital. So you just want to add an additional layer of quartz coming up the side. You can then return it back down to the bottom, and on top of this block going left, do this sequence of blocks. Do 5 blue stained glass paint, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1 block of quartz, 5 glass paint, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 block of quartz, 5 glass paint, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1 block of quartz. What you then want to do, guys, once you have that pattern sorted out, is you want to take this last block of quartz, raise it up so it is roughly as high as the hospital. You don't really have to count it out. You can if you want to, it'll be a row of 30, but just use the rest of the hospital to measure it. And once you've done that, just...
I think that's enough for now.